Cessna 150 Delta 5 Sharp Merrill Tower, wind calm, runway 25, clear for takeoff, eastbound right down.
Today we're flying in wild Alaska on a VFR cross-country trip that will take us through the infamous Merrill Pass located in the Alaskan Range Mountains. If you are an adventurous sim pilot looking for a challenging mountain flight with magnificent jaw-dropping scenery, be sure to stay tuned to find out how to navigate this formidable shortcut through the Alaskan Range. Our departure airport is from Anchorage, Alaska's first airport, Merrill Field, designator Papa Alpha Mike Romeo. Merrill Field was named after one of Alaska's early aviation legends, Russell Merrill, who also coincidentally discovered the 3,000-foot Merrill Pass. Our destination airport, located 170 nautical miles west of Anchorage, is Sparrevohn Airport, designator Papa Alpha Sierra Victor. Sparrevohn Airport is a challenging 4,200-foot gravel U.S. Air Force airstrip that provides access to the Sparrevohn Long Range radar site. For this flight, I chose JustFlight's version of the Piper PA-28RT-201 Air 4. The PA-28RT Air 4 is a 4-place retractable gear single with a 200 horsepower turbocharged 6-cylinder engine and a Hartzell constant speed 3-blade propeller. I've upgraded the Aero's avionics with the premium version of the MSFS Garmin GTN 750 and the GTN 650 touchscreen navigators. I'll include links for these in the video description. Okay, we're burning daylight. Climb aboard, buckle up, let's go flying. Okay, chocks removed, tie downs removed. Fuel tank, let's select our left tank. Master switch is on. Prop, bring that up. Full RPMs. Get over here where we can see. Prime our fuel system. Hit our primer, crack our throttle just a little bit, 3 to 5 seconds. We got fuel pressure, bring it back down. Let's clear our area. Clear prop. Back down. You can see what we're doing. And starter, advance the mixture. Watch our fuel pressure. Make sure we get up to about 1,000 RPMs. There we go. She's climbing up. Oil pressure's coming up. Bring on our alternator. Let's cut on some lights here. Tricky little click spot. There we go. Get on some panel lights. There we go. Clear the message there. We've got low voltage, which it's just because we're at low RPMs right now. That's fine. And we'll bring up the ATIS, and let me kind of reposition myself right here. Okay. Sure our brake is set. I saw that those lights going by there. I think we're okay. Alright. We're using ForeFlight today as per norm. And there we are at Merrill Field. Let's close that. And we can see the ATIS is 124.25. So let's plug that in. 124.25. Transfer it over. We should pick them up.
Merrill Airport Information Alpha 14000. Wind 250 at 7. Visibility 7. Sky condition, few clouds at 900 feet. Temperature 15. Dew point 13. Altimeter 29.902.
2992.
Runway 25 in use.
Can't see that one, can we?
Departing runway 25. DSR aircraft, say direction of flight. All aircraft Read back all short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Alpha.
We have Alpha.
Merrill Airport
Actually, I think I want to
Merrill Airport information Alpha
1181. Use that for our tower frequency. That way we'll get rid of some robots. Okay. And our squawk code, we'll put that in 0316. Go ahead and cut it on, enter it, and indicating. And let's put in our flight plan. Get back over here where we can see. Come back. I do love the GTN 750. This is actually a free version, but I do have the premium upgrade, which has a few more features, but it is definitely a step up from the default. And let's see, I could go back. That's not it. Try that again. Set origin. It's Papa Alpha Mike Romeo, Merrill Field. There we go. And I don't know why there's two. There's really only one. And our destination, it's Sparrevohn. Sparrevohn. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Papa Alpha Sierra Victor. Papa Alpha Sierra Victor. Enter. So that's good. Let's go back, look at our map. We'll zoom out a little bit. There's our magenta line. Straight out departure. We can zoom this one in a little bit. We can see where we are. There's runway 25, just right around the corner. Slight wind. And I think everything's good. I like everything I'm seeing there. We'll set our avionics for departure. We can go heading 250, pretty much the way we're pointed right now. We can go right there with our course indicator, and see if I can see this. It's a little bit harder to get around in this cockpit without using my VR, so can't quite see that. There we go. We'll go over just a little bit more here. Make sure I got this trim set where I want it. It's pretty much where I want it anyway, so there's that. Okay. Alright, trim set. I've been having some trouble with my flight controls, so I definitely want to make sure, hopefully they won't fail me. Keep our mixture down low. Let's cut on our landing light. Release our brake. Clear on the left. Clear on the right. And we'll taxi out to runway 25. Right here, set our brake set, and let's get in here where we can see. We'll bring our RPMs up to about 2,000.
Merrill Tower, Airport 5, for the safety reasons.
Port 5 Tower, thank you.
Adjust my view just a little bit here. I can see my switch. Much easier in VR, no doubt. Okay, there's our left mag, good drop there. Right mag. Check our alternate air, no drop. Cycle our prop. Should have done just a little quicker cycle, and we're going to do it again and watch our oil pressure. It should drop down. It did. And we'll do it one more time and check our windshield. All that's good. And let's go back in here where we can make sure all our gauges are green. Green, green, green. Green. Check our dummy lights here. They're good. And bring our prop back up. Our power back to idle. Bring our mixtures full rich, which I should have already done. Pitot heat comes on. Booster pump is on. I don't have the DME or the ADF. We're not really going to need those, so I'm just going to leave them off. Call the tower and get our clearance. Runway 25 clear for takeoff. Arrow 3023 kilo. Brakes, power coming up, about 39 inches, brakes released, power coming up, power is set. Airspeed's alive, gauges are all in the green. 50, 60, rotate, positive rate, gear coming up. He's off on the nose, about 90 knots. And 400 feet, pull the power back, 35 inches. Prop back, 2,500 RPMs. Cut on heading hold.
Good morning, sir. Morning.
And in fact, we'll go ahead and go into the nav mode for right now. Get on course.
About a 1,000, climb for a
And off we go. Hit your landing light. Fuel pump comes off. Gears up. Flaps are up. All is well with the world. Beautiful day to fly here in Alaska. So we're going to climb up to 3,000 feet for the initial portion of this flight. We'll level off. See how it goes. Coming up on 3,000. Start trimming our nose down. And our altitude hold click spot is right here. So there's 3,000. And let's pull back our power to, our prop RPMs to 2400. That'll quieten that engine up just a little bit and increase our manifold pressure up to cruise about 35 inches. And we'll lean out our mixture. And back to do that, we use our exhaust gas temperature gauge over here, and simultaneously we can watch our fuel flow just below the manifold pressure there. Usually about 13-14 gallons per hour. A flight plan for 14, and right along in there, it's pretty good. And we're all set up for cruise. About 144 knot ground speed, and a little bit of headwind, about 4 knots. About 157 miles to our destination, showing an hour. Might be a little longer since we're going through the pass. And let's see, zoom this out here. We're going to use the terrain feature in here once we get up a little closer. So I'll show you that. And meanwhile, let's just enjoy the scenery. We're flying over the Cook Inlet area right now. The thing I did forget to do was to set my timer. No worries, we'll set it now. We've been in the air for 15 minutes. So we'll switch tanks in 15 minutes, and that'll be about right there where we want to be. Okay, everything's good. Let's see what the outside air temperature is this morning. We're above freezing. It's like about 40 degrees from best I can tell. Everything's just lovely. Doing a good job, 2-3 kilo. Bring up Flight. Get her down here where we like her, right there. And we'll close our flight plan. Close this. Let's put our track up. And as you can see, we are flying over Cook Inlet. Zoom on out so we can see all of our. So we've got a ways. Basically, in here is where we're starting through the mountain pass. We're a good 50 miles away from that point, so just enjoy the scenery and stay tuned. So we're about 20 miles out now from starting to enter the pass through these mountains. We got some 11,000 foot peaks over here on the right and some 7,000 and 8,000 foot peaks on the left. One of the things we want to do before we get into those mountains is go ahead and check on our fuel. So we've been on our left tank now since we took off. We've got 20 gallons in our right tank, so we will switch over, get that done. We won't switch tanks again until we get on the other side of these mountains. Looking at our fuel pressure, remained good. It is so much harder. We're not doing this in VR. So that comes off. Fuel pressure stayed good. Happy with that. So what we're going to do, think we'll come over here and put this one in terrain mode, the GPN 650. So come back over here to terrain. And that's a 2.5 mile and 5 mile. I can zoom this out slightly, but I think having it zoomed in might be beneficial. Probably we can go in a little tighter. I think that's a good place to be right there. This one right now we're on a 5 mile scale, so that just means that distance right there is 5 miles. And then also for backup we've got FlightFlight 2 that we can pull into and see what we're about in there, and we'll tighten up as we get a little bit closer. 145 knots right now. We'll stay at 3,000 for the first part, and let's go back over here. 106 miles, 105 miles from our destination, so we'll see how that goes. Bring our terrain feature back up in there. I think what we'll do, let's see, get in here where I can get this over to heading mode. So our heading looks good. I'm going to use heading to at least navigate through the first part of this. Oh, that's good there. And we're going to come to the right just a little bit. This is about a 7,800 foot peak right over here. We want to make sure we stay away from that. And we've got rising terrain there, so we're just going to follow this creek bed up to Lake Chakachama, which is about a 7 or 8 mile long lake up ahead. You can kind of barely make it out right through there. So we'll just sort of follow the creek up to that point. And this is going to be fun. So you can see if we stay straight, we're going to be hitting a mountain. We don't want to do that. So we're going to swing to the right just a little bit, alter course. I have flown through here with low visibility, lower ceilings, and you really have to rely on your GPS and FlightFlight to kind of back you up. It definitely gets exciting. This is a challenge I think that everyone should give a go in varying weather conditions. Hats off to Russell Merrill for being brave enough to fly up here the first time and discover this, because there's definitely places where you've got to commit and you don't really have room to turn around. And there is Lake Chakachama, that's the way it looks, probably butchering it. I apologize in advance for that. Just going to thread the needle, keep heading up this way, westerly. Of course, in the Aero 4, the turbo version, we can definitely climb up to 20,000 feet, get over the top of these mountains with no worries. But what would be the fun in that? So far so good. Decide if I want to zoom this in a little bit more. Let's see, once we get up a little further, it gets a little dicey. It's a 5 nautical mile range. There's a 4, there's a 2.5. I think I'm going to stay right there on that one. This one's good here. Although, let's see, actually that gets me just a little more detail, so that's not going to hurt. let's take a look at ForeFlight. So right now I'm zoomed in. I'll come on in a little bit tighter. That's good there. Okay. So far so good. Looks like a glacier right there, unnamed. Ease us to the left just a little bit, since we're heading right into that mountain right there, which is about 5,000 feet to the top. And you can see it looks like we've got a fork here. And make sure we take the right branch. The one we want is this one over here. I would not want to do this without a really, really good chart and GPS. And we have both. Beautiful scenery, no doubt. One of the reasons I chose to do this on a fairly clear day rather than a very bad weather day, so that we could see and enjoy this scenery. I've been flying up here in the Alaska area now for a better part of a month, just flying pretty much all over the state, and I may throw in a few photos of some of my more memorable parts, but definitely the weather has been challenging. They measure rainfall in Alaska in feet, not inches. A lot of weather this time of year. I can start easing to the right. And one of the things that I've had to really watch out for is icing. Trying to stay high enough to be above all the terrain, but being able to stay low enough to stay out of the icing levels, layers. Once you get above freezing, below freezing, and you have visible moisture, this airplane tends to pick up ice. You can cut on your windshield heat. That's supposed to help. I think it might. I'm not sure. The fan set on to high. And let's focus now. What we're doing, we're going to continue to follow this on around this direction. Don't let that magenta line fool you. We can't go there just yet. And once we get up closer to the pass, I'm going to take us off of autopilot. I'm going to climb to 3,500 feet. And I hope my controls don't freeze up on me, as they've been doing lately. If they do, you're going to see some quick, jerky reactions. Apologize in advance to my passengers. And just using the autopilot right now is just helping me to be able to jump out and get a few outside views while we're doing this. When I have time, I try to do a little bit of that. Right now, though, pretty much need to just kind of focus on what we're doing. So if we follow that, we will not go to where we want to go. So what we're going to need to do is actually come back to the left here. Definitely tricky coming through here, no doubt. You do not want to take the wrong turn. I wonder how Mr. Merrill figured this out. Maybe somebody hiked through here first. I don't know. I think I would have done that myself, but it's a long hike. ease ourselves back off to the right here. Okay, it's not too early to start gaining just a little bit of altitude. The pass itself is 3,000 feet, so we need to be a little higher than 3,000 to get through it. No doubt about that. So we're going to climb up to 3,500. Long enough to get through the pass itself. Just keep coming to the right here. Not too much.
You got 731, contact exit approach 12614.
Oops, got a little downdraft. Just using my trim to put us in the climb. One of the things about this era I have noticed is that, and it could be my setup, but the trim is not great. Not as good as I'd like it to be. You have to monkey with it a fair amount. And there's 3,500, so we'll level off right there. Okay, so now we're going to be going up one of these. It's not that one. I'm going to go ahead and take us off of autopilot. Get in here where I can see.
Good morning.
There we go. Now I've got aileron control. That's the main thing. Won't worry so much about my rudders right now. I'm not really going to necessarily need them. So it's a pretty tight turn up the pass, and that's not it there. And what I'm going to do is make sure I stay kind of as far close to the right here as I can, so that I make this turn. A little bit of gain in altitude, a little bit of the left rudder with this turn. It's probably not a bad idea. Get ourselves down now. We don't need to be at 3,500 anymore. We can descend. And that was the hard part right there, ladies and gentlemen. You can see what we just came through. Pretty much shows us in passing that red zone, but we were up a little higher. I'm going to trim my nose down just a little bit. And we've got about less than 10 miles to get out of the mountains, out of this part of them, and then we can set course for our destination, which is going to be a challenge in and of itself to land there, no doubt. We shall see. It is a lot of fun to do this. Really a lot of fun to do it in VR, and that's the way I've done it most recently. A little harder to do it this way, but it is doable. It's pretty close to 3,000 right there. Let's sync up our heading. And cut this back on. Let's see if that'll do it for us. Yeah, pretty good. Got about a 4,000 foot mountain right over there. Start making a left turn here. Head down the valley towards two lakes. Appropriately named because there are two lakes. I'll kind of show you, I'll zoom out and show you sort of where we're heading now. And again, we could just climb up above these mountains in the turbo arrow without any problem, but we'd miss all the fun if we did that. So we're doing it the hard way. And once we clear this guy here, we can head back to the west just a little bit more. And you can see we're crossing our course line, but not quite ready to intercept it yet. Getting close though. An absolutely beautiful country, Alaska, the land of extremes, extremely large, extremely beautiful, extremely dangerous. So I'm actually not ready to intercept this course line just yet because of these mountains right here. So I'll show you on ForeFlight. We're going to come around those mountains and then jog back over. So this is where ForeFlight comes in handy because I'm able to put in waypoints, and I probably can with the GTN 750. Once I play with it a little bit, I would definitely give that a try. It's probably telling me to set my course, yeah. We'll worry about that later. And I think we can ditch our terrain feature now. Just go back to our map view, and that way we can see distance to destination, wind, estimated time about 20 minutes, so we'll be there before you know it. We're going to shoot the GPS approach into the airport just to get us lined up. The runway is down in a valley, very hard to find at low altitude, and I may need to climb just a little bit just to make sure we have terrain clearance. I'll look at that and I'll be back with you here momentarily. But right now we're set up really well for the next about 10 miles on this heading. Okay, now that we've cleared these mountains over here, we can make a turn back towards the course to the west. Try about, we'll see what it takes, probably about 280, 290, somewhere in there. We'll see. That looks good to me now. And we're only about 40 miles from destination, so definitely want to start thinking about our approach into there.
31, maintain
Bring up for flight. There we go. Look at our flight plan and check out procedure. Look at approach into, and right now, what have I got selected there? Let's look at the RNAV, there we go. What is the initial approach fix?
Everything 72, approved as requested.
Let's see, stand by on that, I'll check that. Gotta make sure I get us on course here. Go back, close, there we go. Yeah, so there's a 3,700 foot mountain right in there, and I'm trying to miss. So we're staying on this heading. That's that one over there. Stay on this heading a little bit longer. In fact, that's once we get there, we'll be picking that course back up. So I'm going to bring up the approach plate on full flight. Up here so you can see it. There we go. Approach RNAV right here.
Another 471, Anchorage Center, descend via Neil 6 arrival, Anchorage altimeter 3009.
So I think that live me 5500 theory is the one we want. That makes sense to me. So let's go back over here to procedure and approach RNAV, and we'll do live me, and let's add that to our route. There we go.
Do you want to fly on a parallel heading for a while?
Close the flight plan, and we're ready to make a turn now. I do see that we see why they want you to be at 5,500, because there's a mountain, that mountain right there, so it may just hold off momentarily to turn on course until we get beyond that, and then we'll make a turn. How's that? We'll wiggle our way into there for sure. And again, the main reason for using the GPS approach is just to help find the runway, because it is down low. No doubt. Pattern altitude is 2,500 feet. The field elevation is 1,500, if I'm not mistaken. Pull up the plate again, take a look at that. Let's see. Touchdown zone elevation is 1,476. The runway actually slopes up a hill, which makes it even more exciting coming in. So, looking at the approach after Eddie, down to final approach fix at 3,400. So, we may climb up to 5,000, I mean not 5,000, 3,500, just to be on the safe side. Since there's good visibility, I think we'll be okay with that. Let's close this back down. Go ahead and make a turn that way, and then we'll initiate a bit of a climb here. How's that?
Can we do a faster traffic climb out of
bring it on around. This magenta line's heading us right straight to the airport, and we want to hit our initial approach fix just a little further over this way. Bring us up to 3,500 feet. goes 3,500. And we'll be intercepting the inbound course here momentarily. Stay on this heading. See, I can load that procedure up in here. Let's see if we can do that.
Would you rather keep your restricted, or do you want me to punch you up below this gauge there? I gauge give you some step on your choice.
So it doesn't have the approach in here, although I don't have Navigraph installed for this, so could be why. No worries, we've got it on ForeFlight. So we're not IFR actually right now. We've got good visibility, just about to intercept, and we're not too much further, about 20 miles or so from Live Me. Be there before you know it. Ground speed 146 knots, not too shabby.
Traffic climbing out.
Let's look into their fuel situation here. Now we've got a little bit better, higher volume in the left tank. So flip on our boost pump switch. Bring our lever up into the left tank. Fuel pressure is good. Switch is off, and fuel pressure is holding. So we're good there. That's ready for landing, and looking in at ForeFlight right now. Let's get ourselves oriented. There we go. So we're ready to start that turn to Eddy. Literally just flying this approach manually by using the autopilot and ForeFlight. Works just fine for me. What we're doing. The approach course is 345. Turn this to it just as a reminder. There we go. Backing our power down slowly. Slowing us up. Cooling off our engine. And at the final approach fix, let's just bring that up real fast here. Final approach fix, 3,400. So we're setting at 35. We're in good shape there, and we can descend down. Minimum descent altitude is 3,000 without seeing the field. So there we are. We're just about to intercept on approach course. Get on the landing light. Bring our fuel pump, boost pump on. See how far out we are from the airport right now, about 10 miles out. Got the final approach fix. Drop our gear.
Zone 438, anchor center, roger.
And airport's in sight. So let's get up here and just take this off right there. We'll fly it in manually. Let's see if I got control. Yep, seem to.
Good morning,
Some flaps
Alaska.
in. 10 degrees. So it is a gravel strip, and it does slope uphill. And we're right at 3,000 feet, 3,200 feet. We've got to descend down to about 1,500. And we're 5 miles from the airport. We've got plenty of time to descend. We've got power set on 25 inches. That'll be good for right now. Keep our speed up. Wait till we get a little closer to start slowing down. Just hold everything we got right now. Looks good to me.
Four-mile final, runway 34.
4-mile final. Massey's showing me a little high. I'm happy with that. Get a little closer before I get it too much lower. You can start backing off on the power. Let's get another notch of flaps in. Put these flaps on, you definitely need some forward pressure on the yoke. Keep the nose from coming up.
Good morning,
Now we got plenty of height. Ease back on that power some more. And full flaps.
$500.
Check. I would call this a challenging airport. We'll have to check out the area and see if we can see those long distance radar domes. They're supposed to be here somewhere. Little nose up trim. Off the power. On glide path. Good to know. A little high. Nose up trim. Power coming off. Power's coming off. Nose coming up. Nose coming up. Nose coming up. Power's off. There we are. There we are. I always dump my flaps when I land. I know I've had flight instructors tell me not to do that until you get off the runway, but I like to kill the lift. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sparrevohn, wherever we are. Airport. As I recall, they have a little fuel station up here on the left, which would be nice. So that was it. That was a good fun flight through the Merrill Pass. And I just chose this airport because it's one of the closest ones to the west side of the Alaskan Range. We could have flown all the way to Bethel, been about another 100 miles or so, but I believe that's a Corsair sitting up there. How about that? Pretty cool. Okay. look at there, we have a marshaller. Really? I'll be dang. The dickens you say? Out here in the middle of nowhere. I would have not thought so. I see ya. Sometimes they're not wanting you to go right straight to them. Now I can't see her at all. Him, her. Okay, I think they're happy with that. Alright, thank you very much, sir, ma'am. And we will shut that off. Let's cut off these. We don't have our DME or ADF cut on over here, so they're fine. There's not a master for the avionics. That's okay. Pitot heat can come off. Fuel pump comes off. And mixture back to idle. Alright, you can drop your hands now, sir. And let's cut off our mags. So let's see if I can get over here where I can see them. Mags are off. Let's see, we'll switch this over into the shut off position. And where I want to be, right here. Anti-collision lights, I like to just leave those on. I think everything's off. We'll bring that back. Shut off our alternator and battery. Get this door opened up here. Get out of here. Put on some tie downs, some chocks. We're all set. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Flying in Wild Alaska. If you made it this far in the video, I am truly grateful. So thank you very much for flying along with me through the treacherous Merrill Pass. I hope you enjoy your visit to Sparrevohn. Seems like a good place to, I don't know, take a nap. So, alright then, until next time, from FS MaNiA, so long.
Horizon Air 2073, contact Anchorage Center 120.9, good day.